The air was thick with the scent of pine and gunpowder. Blood stained the pristine snow of Baisaran Valley, a crimson stain against the blinding white. My heart pounded against my ribs as I held my breath, my hands steady on my camera. Bodies lay strewn around me, victims of the brutal attack. It was supposed to be a peace rally, a plea for unity. Instead, it had turned into a massacre.
Through the camera lens, she saw him. A tall, imposing figure, his face obscured by a balaclava. He spoke into a satellite phone, his voice cold, devoid of remorse.
Report successful. The infidels are silenced.
His words, chilling in their matter-of-factness, were etched in Ayesha's mind. This was no mere act of terror. This was a meticulously planned operation. A twig snapped under her foot. The figure whirled around, his eyes visible through the mask, cold and calculating. Ayesha froze, her blood turning to ice. He raised his gun, a cruel smile playing on his lips. Time seemed to slow down. Then, a deafening roar. A helicopter emerged from the smoke-filled sky, its blades whipping up a frenzy of snow. The figure lowered his gun, his attention diverted. It was her only chance.
I pressed the record button on my camera, capturing the scene, the carnage, and most importantly, the face of the man who orchestrated it all.
Ayesha knew with chilling certainty that she had stumbled upon something far more sinister than she could have ever imagined. This was just the beginning. The truth, buried deep under layers of deceit and violence, was waiting to be unearthed. And Ayesha Khan, driven by an unwavering sense of justice, was determined to find it.
The days that followed were a blur of hushed phone calls, clandestine meetings, and sleepless nights. Fueled by adrenaline and fear, I worked tirelessly, piecing together the puzzle. My instincts screamed that this attack was no isolated incident. The precision, the cold-blooded efficiency pointed towards something bigger, something far more organized and terrifying.
Her investigation led her down a rabbit hole of encrypted messages, shell corporations, and shadowy figures operating in the dark corners of the internet. She discovered a trail of misinformation, a carefully constructed narrative designed to point the finger at a local militant group.
But I saw through the facade. This was a false flag operation, a play to further destabilize the region and fuel the flames of discord.
Deeper she delved, the more dangerous her pursuit became. Her every move was shadowed, her every keystroke monitored. She had become a pawn in a deadly game, a game played by powerful entities with their own sinister agendas. The truth was closer than ever. She could feel it in her bones, but it came at a price. Her safety, her life were hanging by a thread. Ayesha found herself backed into a corner, her pursuers closing in. They were ruthless and efficient, leaving no room for error. Trapped in a labyrinthine marketplace, the cacophony of vendors and shoppers suddenly replaced by an eerie silence. She could feel their eyes on her, their presence suffocating. Just when all hope seemed lost, a hand reached out, pulling her into the shadows. "Don't speak," I whispered, my voice barely audible above the pounding of her heart. "They are watching." Zubair, risking his own life, led her through a maze of narrow alleyways, his knowledge of the city her only shield. He had heard whispers of her investigation, of the danger she was in. Her unwavering pursuit of truth resonated with him, reminding him of the stories his grandfather used to tell about courage and resilience. He led her to a safe house, a hidden room above a bustling bakery, its aroma of freshly baked bread a stark contrast to the stench of fear that clung to Ayesha. It was there, in the flickering light of a kerosene lamp, that Zubair connected her with his cousin, Major Rohan Varma, a man he believed could help. Major Varma, a man of few words but unwavering resolve, listened intently as Ayesha laid out her findings. His team, a specialized unit tasked with counter-terrorism operations, had been tracking the same network, their paths converging on this case. He saw in Ayesha a kindred spirit, someone who understood the true cost of freedom and justice. Together they embarked on a perilous journey, a race against time to expose the truth before it was too late. Our pursuit led us from the bustling streets of Srinagar to the rugged mountains of Pahalgam, our path fraught with danger and uncertainty. We relied on a combination of cutting-edge technology and local knowledge, Zubair's understanding of the terrain proving invaluable. As they ventured deeper into the mountains, Major Varma and Zubair shared stories of their past, their voices low, their faces etched with a mixture of pain and resilience. Varma, haunted by the loss of his family in a terrorist attack, was driven by a thirst for justice. Zubair, who had witnessed firsthand the devastating effects of violence on his homeland, yearned for peace. Their personal stories, intertwined with the larger narrative of conflict and loss, added a layer of complexity to their mission.
The air grew thin as we ascended higher, the snow-capped peaks looming like watchful guardians.
Trust, forged in the crucible of danger, bound us together. But our pursuit of truth was about to be tested in the most devastating way.
A coded message, intercepted by me, sent shockwaves through the group.
One of their own was compromised, a double agent working for the enemy. Suspicion poisoned the air, our once unshakable bond fractured by doubt and distrust. The betrayal came swiftly and brutally.
A deafening explosion ripped through the silence of the mountains, the ground trembling beneath our feet.
A helicopter ambush, orchestrated from within, left us scattered and vulnerable.
Witnessing the carnage unfold before my eyes, I felt a surge of anger and betrayal.
The truth was within reach, but at what cost?
Injured but undeterred, I continued my pursuit. I had come too far to give up now. My investigation had led me to this, a hidden glacier cave, its entrance concealed by a curtain of ice and snow. This was the lair of the man they called the Shadow, the mastermind behind the Baisaran massacre and countless other atrocities. The air inside the cave was heavy with the smell of damp earth and fear. My heart pounding in my chest, I could hear the faint echo of voices. I crept closer, my hand hovering over the pistol Major Varma had given me. Through a narrow opening in the ice, I saw him. The Shadow, his face now uncovered, exuded an aura of quiet menace. He spoke of chaos and destruction, of reshaping the world in his own image. My finger on the record button of my camera, I knew this was my chance. I had to expose him, to show the world the face of evil. The world watched in horror as my footage aired, the chilling confession of the Shadow echoing across living rooms and newsrooms. The evidence was irrefutable, his words a stark reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface. Governments were forced to act, launching investigations, dismantling networks, and bringing the guilty to justice. My story, my unwavering pursuit of truth, became a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of one person to make a difference. Awards and accolades poured in, my name synonymous with courage and integrity. But for me, the true reward was the knowledge that I had honored my commitment to the victims of Baisaran, their voices amplified by my own. The world was a different place now, forever changed by the events that unfolded in the valley. The fight for truth and justice had come at a heavy price, but it had also ignited a spark of hope, a collective determination to confront the forces of darkness.
Life in Pahalgam, slowly but surely, began to heal. The scars of the massacre remained, etched into the landscape and the memories of its people. But amidst the ruins, seeds of hope sprouted. The community, bound together by shared grief and resilience, rebuilt their lives, their spirit unbroken. Tourists returned, drawn by the valley's breathtaking beauty and the stories of courage that echoed through its mountains. I continued to guide visitors, my narratives now interwoven with tales of Ayesha's bravery and the triumph of truth. Major Varma, haunted by the ghosts of his past, found solace in the knowledge that justice had been served. He continued to serve his country, his commitment to protecting the innocent unwavering. Lieutenant Yoshi, her faith in humanity restored, dedicated herself to training a new generation of soldiers, instilling in them the importance of integrity and courage.
Forever marked by the events I had witnessed, I continued to use my platform to shine a light on injustice and corruption. I knew that the fight was far from over, that the shadows of extremism and hatred still lurked in the corners of the world. A cryptic message intercepted by an intelligence agency hinted at a new threat, a shadowy organization even more ruthless and well-connected than the last. The message was clear: the game is far from over. We will be back. The fight for a just and peaceful world was a perpetual one, a relay race where each generation passed the baton to the next. The question wasn't whether the shadows would return, but when. And when they did, the world would need to be ready. The fight for truth and justice was a never-ending story.